Social identity theory proposes that people identify with groups. Specifically, we call them in-groups, and that in turn makes other groups out-groups. Another term for this is often called othering, so it's us or them kind of thing. And so this theory, this social identity theory, highlights how a person's sense of who they are is often defined in terms of we instead of I. So with that comes an important question. How is it that as individuals, we end up as part of these in-groups? Well, according to social identity theory, there are three sort of key stages in that process. So the first stage is social categorization. So this is essentially like the labels that we put on ourselves. Things like geek or Christian or poet or, whatever. These are the labels that we put on ourselves. And that's a shorthand way of implying things about the person. And then the next stage is where we take on that identity. We call that social identification. So we take that group identity on in not just in our own eyes, but in the eyes of other people as well. And we become defined in a way that has like emotional value and, some significance to it. And we in turn identify the behavior of the in-group as being largely positive. And the final stage is social comparison. So that's where we compare the in-group to the out-group. And while we do that, we define the in-group in positive terms, which in turn reinforces our own positive view of ourselves. And when it comes to the out-groups, we essentially do the opposite. We define them in, less positive terms, negative terms, if you will. And that in turn reinforces the not so positive or the negative view of the individuals and the behavior of the people within that out group. So that is a very, very, very brief look at a really important part of social identity theory. And it is something that is worth thinking about. What groups are you part of? How did you become part of those groups? And what groups does that then put you in competition with?